That's how I end up asking for help. I got to the point where I was like, no options.
Yeah.
If you ask someone for help, he said, people actually want to help and get enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
Like, why would you take that enjoyment away from them? Hi, and welcome back to the Mindset and Marketing Podcast. My name is Matthew Toman, and I am your co-host for today's show.
And I am Sharon Kirkpatrick.
You should start doing some of these sometimes.
I actually can't even say my own surname, I've just realised.
I
say Kirkpatrick. It's Kirkpatrick. But that's too
Kirkpatrick.
much effort.
What do you say?
Sharon Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick.
Kirkpatrick, so it's Kirkpatrick.
Sharon Kirkpatrick.
On the Mindset and Marketing Podcast, we want to give you some jargon-free information around everything mindset and everything marketing. Mindset is one of the most important things that you need to master, and marketing is one of the most important skill sets that you need to have to bring all of your goals into your life faster than
Anything else?
anything ever. It's the fastest way to bring it in, because you can learn how to navigate through products and services in life and move through things. So what is today's, well, before we jump into today's topics, what did you get up to at the weekend?
You actually never want to know what I got up to. You always try and jump straight in.
Do you want to know why that is?
Why?
I already know. Because
Yeah.
do you know, and I keep forgetting that other people are watching this and they don't know.
They probably don't care either, to be fair.
Well, even whenever I hear them back, I'm like, God, did she tell me that actually? You know, what did you do at the weekend?
Well, really, this whole kind of, these last few weeks have been me adjusting to living on my own.
Oh, shit, that's right.
Which is out the window shortly. Rachel's back next week,
Oh
the
my-
weekend.
Are you delighted?
Yeah, I do miss her. And you know what else I miss? You know when you live on your own, you have to do all your own cleaning. What's that about? I know you can hire a cleaner, right? But I don't.
Well, I do have a cleaner, but I do so much of it myself. I just hate doing floors and bathrooms.
Yeah, that's the worst. And then we have obviously cats, so then I have to look after them by myself.
Yeah.
Like I have a newfound respect for people who are single, and especially single parents, because like I've just got 2 cats and I'm like, I have to get home for them.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's single.
Like,
I know. Well, I think
Imagine
it's.
being a parent, and
I know.
that's hard going.
I love living by myself.
There's nice elements to it. You can watch whatever you want.
Yeah.
You can read a wee book and just chill, because Rachel doesn't like reading, so I can't ever read. So that's been nice.
Yeah.
Been reading a few books, so I'm behind in the podcasts.
Yeah.
Go to bed earlier, actually.
Okay.
Not sitting up chatting. You know when you go home, you have someone
Yeah.
to talk to and you're filling in the day.
But that's nice though.
No, it is nice.
Yeah.
So that I was talking about. Well, yeah. So I'm delighted for her coming home.
Yeah.
6
no.
weeks was long.
That is long. I think Rachel's going to appreciate just home a lot more. From what I gather of speaking to her, like I think she's had a ball,
Yeah.
and it's looked
Oh, it
amazing.
looked brilliant.
Even like, did you see her on that train where like they drive onto the train and then it goes through a mountain?
Oh yeah, like a car train.
I don't know. It was nuts. Their bus was
Yeah.
on it.
They're just traveling all the time.
Yeah, it looked amazing.
What about you? What have you been up to? Or
I've just been doing the same as flat out in the gym, loving it. Listening to our favorite podcast host. What do you call her again?
Naomi Channel?
Oh, Naomi Channel. Yeah, she's actually brought out a 12-part, a 12-part podcast on this wee girl, Charlene, who got murdered when she was 14.
Well, I didn't know she was murdered.
Oh, do you not remember that happening?
No.
She said it at the very start of the opening podcast. What episode are you on?
Oh, I thought it was like missing.
Oh, maybe her body hasn't been discovered. Yeah, sorry. Maybe that is actually true. Yeah, suspected murdered, I would imagine. I haven't finished the whole series anyway.
Okay.
So
No, I don't remember that one, but like it just sounds devastating.
I remember that coming on the news. This podcast, it's called Real, and whenever we first got onto her, she'd done the Michael Barrymore one. Do you know where that
That's
guy
right.
drowned in his pool, Stuart Lubbock or something?
Lubbock or something.
Yeah, so she'd done his one, and because I could remember it happening, you know, live on the news, I was like, God, I must give it a listen, because in case there was anything else that we hadn't heard. And I thought she was a really good journalist, actually. She's really good at bringing the stuff in.
She always picks like high profile cases, that people would have heard of. And then you get a deeper dive into it, because mostly I'm just a headliner, so I don't really know what happened. And then whenever she gets involved, then I get the bigger picture. So I'm delighted.
And it's so funny. We both crack up over this. She ends up saying every time, "Now I'm being impartial here," and then gives like a 3-minute statement on
her
that is not impartial on any level
I'm being
at
impartial,
all.
but and then goes into like
I don't mean to become I don't mean to seem impartial, and or whatever it is, or one-sided. But I think she's brilliant.
I'm here to be impartial.
Yeah,
I'm not going to put my opinions on this case. I think that
I know, yeah. And see usually what she's thinking, though. I'm kind of thinking the same.
Oh, no, I know. So you should definitely check it. So that's going to basically be our next week.
I've done a bit of a deep dive on her as well, actually. She's a documentary filmmaker and journalist and everything. She's done loads and loads of stuff for TV networks and things, and still has her day job while running this on the side.
Yeah, I don't know how she does it. It's brilliant.
I know. She does a lot of. She probably has researchers, I would imagine.
Yeah.
We should do a murder mystery and actually like hire a researcher.
Yeah.
And then we could.
I would love to do that.
We could take like an episode each and voice over it or something.
Let's try it.
That's
next week's podcast.
Like we haven't got enough to do.
No, I know.
Well, I probably do have time where you probably don't.
I probably don't. But there we go. Okay.
Yep.
So, we'll jump in.
Yes. What is today's topic?
It is asking for help. How do you feel about asking for help?
I used to not be able to do it at all. And now I can't get through one task in the world without asking for help.
Well, that's a positive.
No, it's actually the most powerful tool you'll ever have. If you master asking for help, you're not good at it.
I am the worst at asking for help. Personally, professionally, it's not happening.
Sometimes I have to say to Sharon, like, is there anybody else in the team can do this?
And it sounds like I'm being arrogant saying no. Nobody in the whole world could do this.
I'm pretty sure somebody can. Is this not like social media management? Does this not fall under like posting on Facebook? No, I have to do it. I'm like, give me the task. Somebody else has to do it. This is not your time best spent.
Yeah, I can't delegate.
Yeah. Oh, you're the worst.
Can't ask for help, can't delegate. So
You've
there's
got
a lot
better.
on my shoulders.
You've actually got better. You've actually got a million
better.
times better. I think whenever it came to delegating, I think the main thing for you was having people around you that you could trust. I think we had to put a lot of time into like the team that was surrounded around you.
That's a big one. And I'm not alone, because it said that 3 in 4 people don't ask for help until they're at the end of their tether. They're overwhelmed and they've got no other choice.
Yeah, that happened to me actually. That's how I end up asking for help. I got to the point where I was like, no options.
Yeah.
Was getting backed into a corner and had to say, I don't know what to do, Yeah.
And
then whenever I saw the power of it, and again, jumping back into The Evolution of Success, the movie, Joe Vitale was in there. And there's a whole section in the evolution of asking for help. And Joe actually makes a statement which, again, landed for me. And I was like, he said, if you ask someone for help, he said, people actually want to help and get enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
Like, why would you take that enjoyment away from them?
True. Well, if you think about if somebody asks you for help, you're only too happy to help.
Absolutely. I love helping people, yeah.
But I don't know, for some reason, internally, a lot of us out there struggle to ask for help. And when you think about it, it's quite a vulnerable position to be in, asking for help, because you are potentially setting yourself up to be rejected.
Yeah.
A lot of people won't, but there's the fear of rejection, that comes along with asking for help. There's also a bit of, sometimes you see it as failure. If you have to ask for help, you can't achieve it on your own. Yeah. Therefore, you're failing at what you're doing. There's kind of a lot of pressures and pride that comes with asking for help.
The way my mum has getting her kitchen intimate, so she's got her coffee machine underneath, like just sat underneath and on the island. Mm-hmm. So I will say, like, I'm going to make coffee, and she'll say, I'll make it for you. That's well, so I know it's cool to get it myself. Where's the coffee machine? I'll lift it out. Like I was like, you're in the middle of stuff. I'm like, why don't you just say, Matthew, make me a coffee, or can you help me out with this?
Yeah.
Like there's times that we had to move the breakfast bar. My mom was trying to move it. No, seriously.
And if anyone has ever seen Matthew's mum, Christine, she's tiny. Powerhouse.
But very strong.
Yeah, powerhouse, but very tiny.
She's
trying to
very
move like a
powerful
kitchen.
woman. That's
Yeah.
the thing. But I was just like, she is the epitome of not asking for help, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But she will burn herself out helping everybody else. She won't want anybody else to do anything and won't ask for help. And that was one of the things that I think whenever I started to master whenever I realized how much people wanted to help, actually one of the main reasons how I really learned to ask for help was whenever I was making low to no budget feature films. Not even short films. I'm talking about full feature films. You had to go up and say to someone, hey, will you shoot this movie for me? There's no money. I need your help with something. Like, what is it? And I'd be like, we're shooting a movie.
How did you get around that then? Did you just ask, or did you have to position it in a way where you were outlining the future benefit? Like, how did that work? Because that seems like a big...
See, with low to no budget future benefit, there's no future benefits. You're not getting money on the back end. It's not happening. And I wouldn't really try to sell someone on that, because I couldn't deliver on that, and that would make me feel even worse. Like, it's about a part of creating something, like being a part of a movie, being involved with it. Like, they want practice. Like, you're not in a position where you're getting booked out full-time paid right now. So why don't you take this movie and use it as a showpiece at the end of it, or learn on it while you go, or practice, and, we'll cover petrol and we'll cover food. And people got on board understanding that was the case, and actually see the morale and the camaraderie around low budget movies or short film. It's brilliant, actually. The on set, when everything's going right.
That 1 minute of the day.
Well, for a good part of the day, people actually are so buzzing because they're doing something they've always wanted to do. They're working on a movie set, set, you know what I mean? It's still, at the end of the day, makeup artists will come and give their time because they'll want to say, we done that movie. And the one commitment I made to everybody was, I am going to get this movie released. It's going to get finished and it's going to get released. And all of them got completed, and all of them got distribution, cinema, festivals, Amazon Prime, all of that. So I stuck to that. It nearly killed me in some instances.
And could you imagine, like, relating that back to the asking for help? If you didn't ask any of those people for help, like, none of that would have been achieved.
I couldn't have done one single thing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had my name as a producer on movies on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have had my name on a producer or a movie that I'd done on RTE without everybody else and asking them, hey, can you help me?
Yeah.
That's whenever I learned the absolute power of asking for help.
Yeah.
People want to help, and there's people everywhere in your network right now. No matter what it is you want, there's someone within your network knows how to do it, can offer that service, wants to help, wants to be a part of what you're doing. So why would you deprive them from it?
Well, that's the thing. And, whenever it comes back to, like, I was just checking it there. Some of the biggest, like, life events, I know that was business there, but some of the biggest life events that people really struggle in terms of they need help and don't ask for it is raising a family, buying a home, and landing that dream job.
Okay.
So they're the top kind of three.
These are stats you're on, right?
Yeah, where people struggle to ask for help.
Okay.
And in that case, then don't ask for help, and then potentially don't get that house, don't get that job, struggle enjoying their family time because they need a bit of support. Do you think it's easier to ask for help on a professional level than a personal level?
Yes. Because you can usually then barter with them to get something back.
Yeah.
You're going to be on this movie working for free, but we're going to have the movie at the end. Do you know? Whereas, hey, I'm struggling with my 2 kids right now and I need help, to like someone having to come into your house, potentially change nappies, potentially, whatever that, it's not as an enjoyable trade-off.
Yeah.
In my personal life with help, I've had to ask, hey, can I have a lend of like $2,000? because I need to like pay my rent, whenever I had no money. Hey, can I, and that was a hard ask. And like that's not something I'm good at. Like I'm genuinely not good at saying to someone,
Yeah.
can I have a lend of money, or I'm there's elements of that where I'm definitely not good at.
So you've nailed the professional side of asking for help, but the personal one, not so much. I would say a lot of people would be like that.
Now I have done before.
What?
Like I can remember being on the phone. Our bank got froze in 2022 we used this company Tide. They're not actually a bank. And I can remember being on the phone and I was telling Rachel about it. She transferred me like 5,000 into my Revolut, like on the phone without even me really asking. She's like, there's money just in case. And I was like, I needed this. Payday was coming up and we had other accounts in the south of Ireland. But like she transferred me, as soon as the bank was released, I transferred it straight back to her. But I was like so grateful because I'd never really asked anybody for. My other friend Kevin I've asked for in the past. Do you know, I find it really difficult to ask on that level.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like on a personal level, I'm trying to think about when I've asked for help, and I don't know. I'm sure I have, but if I can absolutely avoid it, I will. And I'd rather not do something or struggle through something than say to somebody, here, could you help me? I think I am getting a wee bit better. I think... I just think when certain life events happen and you realise that, geez, life is short, and actually, I'm thinking about like my dad's funeral, whenever all that was going on, it was a horrible time.
Yeah.
And you were kind of like, struggling with going to hospital all the time, trying to be at home for the visits and then trying to help organise the funeral with his wife, Maria, and there was just so many moving parts, trying to navigate work through that, Then I was kind of like, guys, can somebody help me here? Can I have this time off, which I would never, ever normally do? And you're like, don't even think about even asking, it's a cert. And even with like, Rachel, can you like help me? Can you go and lift this? Because I need to do that. Can you come to the hospital with me? Because, I'm so sad and it's so hard. Like there, probably when that happened, then I've had a wee bit of a shift now where even the smallest things have changed. So like we live in the middle of nowhere, right? And you can't get a taxi. And I would never, my friends live near me and they were like, phone us anytime if you need a taxi. And I never ever would. And now they're probably like freaking sick of it. Now I'm like, here, if you're about, could I get a lift with you?
Yeah.
And they're like, of course, yeah. And I still have that dread, of sending a message saying even the small things. But I am getting better.
Yeah, that time with your dad that you went through was so difficult. I was in LA, like felt kind of helpless because I kind of do like the, what do you need? What can I do?
Yeah.
But it was so difficult. But at that time, we were just trying to give you as much space as possible. I took all the, as much pressure as I could off with the clients.
Yeah, you took it all.
And then like re-entering back into work, that was the time you came out to LA to us actually for those 10 days. Yeah. I thought that was like, a good opportunity to sort of ease back into work where it wasn't like back into the office. It was different surrounding.
Yeah.
Like psychologically,
That's the thing, like it kind of and sometimes that, like you knew what I needed, I didn't know what I needed. Do you know what I mean?
I was like, your tickets for LA is coming out next Thursday. I'm like, fly out here.
Hey.
You were like, what? I don't know if I should go. What should I do? I'm like, get on the flight where you're coming out. But it broke the cycle slightly and just made you think about things a bit different.
Oh, 100%. Like and that's the big thing. You mentioned it earlier, is about, people around you can trust so that you are comfortable to ask for help or to at least let people see that you maybe need a bit of support, you know, and that there's no shame or guilt or, pride that should be attached to, like, listen, we're all human. Like, it's hard life sometimes. And not just even in the hard parts, but that's the whole thing. Like, we should all kind of be there to help each other, and there are people there that will want to help you. Yeah,
I definitely want to help. I love helping people.
Yeah.
Like, I want to help more. Like, I want to help. That's what you want to do. Even the organizations that I'm involved in, like, they help so many people on the ground. I absolutely love them.
Yeah.
There was one time I was on the phone to you and Rachel, though, and you were like, Rachel, should I ring Leona here and get a lift? And I was like, you two are like extremely successful women, the taxi's going to be £10.
No, it's not that. You can't get one.
I know, I realised that after.
Yeah,
but
you're trying to save a tenner.
The first time that I heard that about the taxi thing, before I knew that she had said that, like, why don't you ring us? I'll give you a lift. I was like, whenever you said that to me, I was going, are they really looking to like save a tenner? Because she's both are fucking loaded.
Times are tight.
I know, yeah. I thought it was funny.
Well, I think like I read somewhere about the whole stats around asking for help, and it said that 53% of people feel that it held them back from achieving their goals because they didn't ask for help.
100%.
So that is more than half the people felt like they haven't achieved their goals because they couldn't ask for help.
Yeah. That's sad, isn't it?
And just imagine, yeah, exactly, because those goals that then, if you had asked for help, you might have achieved, you might be somewhere else now, you might be doing something else, you know? So I think it is a big thing that we all need to I hate that term. I was going to say man up, but I don't like that term.
Well,
what
you know.
Said woman up, person up.
I don't know. Shut up. No, I'm joking. Open up.
We all need to open up.
They just need to just realize, what do I want? To get that, I'm going to need X, Y, Z. Okay, who can help me with that?
Yeah.
Don't think how can I do this? Think who can do this. Don't think like, you know, how am I going to do this? Think about who can do this. I always say that to everybody in the team in the office. Stop thinking about how you're going to do something and start thinking about who, because you have to delegate. That's what the team's there for. Daniel's a nightmare to it as well. Sometimes he'll say, I was working on this thing today, and I'll be like, we've got a web developer. You know, and like, I understand why he's doing it 100%, because again, he probably thinks, you know, he's more efficient in the same way you do.
Yeah.
Same way I do in some instances. I just say, I'll just do it. It's easier. Where actually it's not. I'm probably the worst at it, and somebody else can do it better than me. But I think as humans, we all do it.
I know. Well, the main takeaway that I want to end on is, so basically half the people now we know aren't achieving their goals because they're not asking for help.
I know, catch yourself on.
And there are, like you said at the start, people want to help.
Yeah.
So let's start opening up, being a bit more vulnerable.
Ask me and Sharon.
Ask us.
We'll help. If you want
ask Matthew first.
You can message me and ask me. I delegate it though.
To me.
I delegate to the team. I'll be like, here, I've got we need to help this person.
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, like, for whatever it is you want to achieve or whatever it is you want to do, there's someone within your network can help you.
Yeah.
And if you're going through the loss of a parent, the hardest thing in the world, there's somebody within your network that has experienced that. And they can help you get through that.
And I definitely think it opens up a different level. I don't know what it's called. I don't know the name for it. But when people kind of come around you and just wee small acts of kindness, you know, during that time, and you just think to yourself, oh my goodness, people are good. You know,
That's what I'm saying. People want to help.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm making with that.
Yeah.
You know, and you got it firsthand without realizing what it was. You said you don't know what to call it. It's people actually want to help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's start making the most of that on the daily, rather than wait until we're overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So, moving on to the dilemma of the week.
Which I've just read it.
Just there now?
No, well, I've read it obviously earlier, but I mean, it's definitely a drastic segue.
It is a drastic segue. Well, I guess any dilemma is a question that requires help. So
we've just thinking from how that last part went. So so all of our dilemmas have came from real life businesses, experiences, people that have worked with me one-on-one, or people that are working directly with Sharon, and people that are just in the company. Like, you know, they're all real life dilemmas, you know. So this one is, do you want to go through it?
Yeah. So this is a common one. We get asked this all the time. I've got my website. I've just put it up. Why am I not getting any leads?
Yeah.
All of the time, people think that because obviously they don't have the experience or knowledge of how the online world works, but people think that once they've built their website, automatically they're going to get streams of leads or sales.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's not how it works. So what we wanted to do today is just talk around why that doesn't work like that.
Just to give you a bit more like clarity on, like, if you think, oh my God, I've just spent all this money. And we actually make people aware before, like we ask
Yeah.
them what's their goals. And if they say more leads, we'll say, look, this is not what's going to get you more leads, but it's going to be a part of a puzzle
Yeah.
that you need. But here's what you're going to also have to understand.
Yeah. The analogy that I like to use, if you've ever watched the Field of Dreams movies, and they say, if you build it, they will come. I say with websites, if you build it, they won't come. You then need to do the marketing around it in order to get them to come. Because if you think about it, it's the World Wide Web. So there is billions of websites online. It would be impossible for you to just build a website and just have it pop up and everybody immediately land on it.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't work like that. You have to build it. And while you're building it, there's things that you can do that you can help increase your leads that will then start to come through as the website is up. But then after that, to stay on top and to stay visible, that's when the marketing comes in.
Yeah. You got to look at your website like a member of staff. Is this another member of staff? Right? So if there's you on your own, then your website is your second member of staff. If there's 10 of you, then you have to look at it like it's at the 11th member of staff. Mm-hmm. And whenever you employ someone into your business, whatever their job role is, they need to know everything about what they're selling, what they're doing, and how they're communicating with their client. So with your 11th member of staff being your website, it needs to know everything about your business, where you're located, what time you open at, how much the product and service is. And it also needs to communicate with, let's not call them a lead, let's call them a person that's landed on the site and with a problem. With that person who lands on the site with a problem, it also has to communicate with that person the same way as you would communicate with them in face-to-face.
Yeah.
You know, you greet them as you would. You'd ask them the questions, and maybe on a website you can't ask the questions that you get the response back, so you have to preempt it. Maybe you're in a situation where you don't have enough leads, you don't have any, you need a graphic design. You know, you start to then put the problem into you start to point out their pain points throughout the site, throughout the sales pages, and throughout your digital most valued, best member of staff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then just before we jump off that one, with every single member of staff that is standing in a bricks and mortar business on the other side of the phone or whatever that may be, you still have to have people walk in to that shop and speak to that member of staff. So if you're on Grafton Street in Dublin, you're going to have a really, really high footfall. If you're in my hometown of Lurgan, you're going to have a much smaller footfall, right? So it's exactly the same with your website. Where are you positioning your website online? Where is it sitting within the social channels? And where are you bringing leads to that website, blog posts, paid traffic, whatever that may be?
100%, yeah.
Yeah, but go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, keep going because
no,
you're
no,
on the
no.
flow.
Well, do you want to know? I was
finished.
just about to say something there where it was like, I've lost it.
No, oh no, I bet you that was the most
Do you want to
important
know
part
what
of the
it
whole
probably
thing.
was actually? No, I think it was more to do with with your best, most valued member of staff. Oh yeah, and then I was just going to point out, and that's where people get mixed up. They think that their website is an inbound lead source.
Yeah.
Where it's not. It's a person, let's call it a person, that has all the information on your business. And that person still needs people, you still need to bring people to that person.
Yeah. And for kind of, that's touching on, you know, people who are just launching a website for the first time. For anybody who has a website online at the minute and they're not getting the people that they want through the website, the leads or the sales, there's normally two things. One is, are you getting the traffic to the website? So we would look at the website and go, how many people are visiting that every month? So what is your footfall on your website? If your footfall is really low, that then means you need to do more marketing to bring people to the website, to your shop front online. If you're getting really high visitors to your website, then that means there's something up on the website. They're coming to you, but they're not converting and following through to the other end, be it an inquiry form or be it a sale of a product. And then that's whenever you need to look at what you were talking about there, which is, what is your website saying? How is it speaking to that person whenever they first land? And then working that out so that then those people that do come on then start to believe and understand and feel that you are the answer to their problems.
And it's exactly the same as having an unproductive staff member on the shop floor of a shop. If someone comes in on Saturday and they're really hungover and they're spending most of the time out in the stock room lying on a big bunch of clothes, you know, hungover, and they're not really out there on their best, like performing at their highest point, they're not going to get as many sales that day. Do you know, if your website is not firing on all cylinders and really working to its full potential, then you're not going to get any sales that day. You know, and it's not rocket science. It's really, it's just logic.
Yeah.
You know, there's a part of this chain that's broken. Let's identify where it is.
And fix it.
Yeah.
And there's tools that you can use online, like SEMrush, SEMrush, to put your website in and see how many visitors you're getting. You can get that all through Google Analytics if you've set all of that up. But you'll be able to see quite quickly just how many visitors you're getting, to see if the marketing is the problem. If you're getting loads of visitors, then we need to go back and look at your best member of staff, your website, and figure out what we need to do. And for Matthew and I and the agency and the academy, we always kind of have, there's loads of things that go into building a good website, but there's a few key points that we always kind of repeat over and over again. So we'll share them maybe just so that people can have a look after and see, is their website doing these things?
Yeah.
So I have a list. What would you say they're going to be the same?
Well, whenever I land on the website, within the first 5 seconds, I want to know who you are, what you do, and how do I get it? Right? So it's like your title, your log line, and your call to action. Like within 5 seconds. If I don't have that information within 5 seconds, if I have to hunt for that, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I would probably hunt through a bit more because I'm used to doing audits on sites because I want to know what's going on. But the average consumer, gone.
Yeah.
They've got that Instagram,
mindset now, mentality.
TikTok,
It's just
like what do you call that? Attention span.
yeah.
Seconds. It's probably less than 5 seconds now. It was 5 seconds.
It is less than 5.
Well, I mean, for this actual task.
Yeah.
You know, and it's easy to achieve that. Who you are, what you do, and how do I get it in 1 second, 2 seconds, just the time of reading it.
Yeah, like don't make it too text heavy.
Yeah.
For me, one of the big things is ensuring that, and when Matthew says who you are, what you do, how you get it, not in a way that's all about you, in a way that's about the client. Do you know what I mean? So,
or the service that you provide.
Ensure that there's a gain message in that title headline that you're leading with on your website. So, for example, we don't just say Bankhouse Media, we do awesome websites, or Bankhouse websites, video, whatever. We're talking about the gain for the client. So I can't remember, it's been a minute since I've looked at it, but it's basically saying increase your revenue and customers through the creation of da-da-da-da. So you're
it's about
it's about them.
Whenever before you joined, it was on the front of the website, we are Bankhouse Media.
Yeah.
It was about us, whereas it's never about us. It's about helping other people.
Yeah. And I think that needs to match that. The whole, like, we see it all the time. People will just land on or show us their websites and it'll say, for example, 20 years experience in whatever. And it is important to have that. But what does that actually mean to your client at that moment?
And think back to the bricks and mortar. Could you imagine someone walking off the shop front and them saying, hi, I would like a pair of like blue jeans, size 32 waist. And they're like, we've been here for 20 years and we are called, you know, I got this business inherited by my grandfather who opened it in like 1999. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to say that to somebody if they walk off the street. So why would you say that on your website?
Yeah.
They're in looking at a pair of jeans. Give it to them.
Yeah.
What color do you want?
Yeah.
Free delivery if you spend over 50 quid. Do you know what I mean?
That's so funny.
But it is
But
that
it's true,
thing. Whenever you think of that person as a member of staff, Now, if someone was standing in the shop and said, how long have you been here?
You're allowed to answer.
Yeah, because you've got the about section in there.
Yeah.
It's in the footer where they're hanging around. They haven't converted. They still need more information. It's down at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then you introduce them to the company and give them that bit of authority or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Or confidence in that you're the best. But you don't, for the average consumer now, they do not care.
No, it's all about them. And that's kind of something that you should continue on down your website. You know, talk a bit about, so for example, once you've got that headline in, then start talking about some of the problems or pains that your client has. Then you go on down that and you start to talk about how you could solve those problems. And then you lead into your products and your services because you've took them on that journey. Straight away they know, I can identify with that issue at the top. These problems I can feel and understand. Yes, I want these solutions. Wow, here's the answer to those problems, you know, and it kind of has to flow like that. Like, that's really broadly speaking. There's a lot more to it. But in general, you know, if your website just says, Bankhouse Media, websites video, call me here, here's more about us, you know, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
A big one as well, sorry, just while it's in my head, is ensuring that you've got testimonials on your website. Video testimonials are amazing, but failing that, you know, get onto your Google reviews, get onto your Trustpilot, your TripAdvisor reviews, get logos up there of clients that you've worked with before that just establish an authority within the work that you're doing.
And links as well. Like, we have loads of links to other websites that we built, like hundreds.
Yeah.
You know, that are all really functioning and making money for clients.
Because what that's doing is that's removing the doubt that maybe you can't be trusted or they shouldn't have confidence in you as a brand. You're showing them, you're answering their objections the whole way through that webpage. So what possibly could they have as an objection? They don't know me. Okay, well, here's loads of people like you that I have worked with and I have helped, you know, just to kind of outline and show them that that's the experience that you're going to give and provide to them. Another big one is your call to actions, which you mentioned. If some people don't know what that is, it's the buttons on the website that will get somebody to buy or inquire or learn more. So they need to kind of be established correctly throughout your website, and the buttons that are leading people to buy or inquire should stand out more than the secondary buttons that we call, which are the learn more, you know, find out this, find out that. Because again, you want to make it easy for people to get in touch and to do that next stage.
Book an appointment. If you're in like the beauty industry and you want people to book a hydrofacial or, you know, whatever it may be, just make sure that you've always got them into your booking system. They can pay a deposit. They can select their time.
Yeah.
You know, even though I know you said there's a lot more to it, and there is, like, whenever you're building it out. But again, this is achievable for people to do themselves. Yes, we have an agency. Yes, we do all this work for you. Whenever people come in, they've got like they go through like a many page document, like 10, 8.
Yeah.
Very multiple choice, select. It's nothing too heavy. But just with us getting that information from that, we've got so much out of your head. If you have got the capability of building your own sales page or working through it yourself, you've got all that information in your head, and then you just follow the formula that is there.
And for anybody who is interested, we do have a formula for the sales pages on websites. It's just, it would take a bit longer to go into, which we don't have the time. So reach out to us and we'll happily share that with you.
Yeah.
And it's literally, we'll take you step by step on what information should be where on your page so that it helps convert and speak to your customers. And
also, we have released our 1000 prompt AI guide, which is doing great. Thank you for everybody who supported that. It's brilliant. It's Ava, our AI virtual assistant, is like a game changer. And we've actually got a formula that you can use with your sales page using Ava and AI prompts that it won't write it for you completely because you do have to tweak it, but it will help so much. And it's sort of one of those things, whenever I put it in and then I get the answer out, I'm like, oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
like, I'm
great.
thinking like, yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah. You know.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was thinking,
Yeah. So
which is handy.
reach out to us, because happy to share that with anybody
Yeah.
who's struggling, because you'll just check your website out now.
It can be overwhelming, you know?
We know it. It seems easy to us now because that's obviously what we do. You know, it's not, nobody thinks of those things. You know,
Yeah.
you just think, I need to get my website up. I need to put all my products up. I need to put all the information about my business up, you know, but actually what you need to do is talk to your customer.
Yeah. That's it.
know?
All you have to do is communicate, bring it back to like what you done in the flesh and what you done old school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just before we finish up, for people then who, you know, the website isn't the problem, it's the amount of people you're getting to the website's the problem. So that's then the marketing side
Yeah.
of basically what that's saying is, it's showing you that you're not doing enough marketing to get enough people on your website. So quickly, what types of marketing can we do to bring more traffic to our websites?
Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, any of those. Make sure you've got your link in bio that leads to your website. You would not believe how many businesses we start to work with and they do not have a link in bio to a place that you can either showcase your work or book your work. Posting some stuff we spoke about on an earlier podcast on your social media for organic traffic, getting onto stories, sharing your face and talking about your product and service is something that is going to increase your awareness to other people and just get you out there. If you're getting 100 views and 2 likes, who cares? Those 2 people that like that may potentially become a customer, and all depending on what your price point is, it could be very valuable to you, you know?
It's a valid point, because don't be intimidated by people who have large numbers on their social media accounts. There was one particular account that had over, was it 2 million followers, making zero money.
Probably, well, hopefully they would have had a link in bio. If they've got the 2 million followers, that they might have, but
I just mean, you know, you say, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not about the numbers on that end. It's about the numbers that then come through to your website and then inquire and reach out. So all it could take is 5 of them.
Yeah. Then you've got affiliate marketing where somebody else sells your product for you and they get a percentage of it. You've got paid traffic, which is YouTube,
ads,
Google Ads, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all those different things. And then you've got influencer marketing as well. And influencer marketing could be achievable for trading services. You know, would you like to come in for a facial and you share about it on your stories? And using someone with low following, even like just over 1,000, there's people still seeing their stories. Do you know what I mean? And if one person comes in or 2 people come in by a facial, you've made money.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I would just say, like, try all of that stuff, you know, getting into the point where my watch is speaking to me again. Keeps doing that whatever way I hold it. But I would try all of those that you can to get yourself in a position that then you can then invest in paid traffic. Because I love paid traffic because you can really just figure out, you can go into any audience in the world. Like, you can tap into any city that you want to and put your product and service there and then and if you've got your ads working properly, get a return from it and then reinvest elsewhere.
Paid traffic is good because it's so easy to track, you know, and it can be quite instant, like matter of weeks.
Yeah,
you know,
like we're not putting any what is the word? It's. Do you want to know what? There's no guarantees with it. There's no guarantees with paid traffic.
I think the thing is, you have to test. People forget that you have to test. You know. And again, it's like a website. They think you turn on an ad, you get loads of leads. The odd time that's going to work. Mostly you have to test it. Let Google, Facebook, Meta understand, you know, their research and their bits that they do in the background. And then you have to monitor it and tweak what's successful in your eyes and, you know, and do all of that. So paid traffic is great because you can get quicker results than, for example, organic SEO, you know, being found on Google. SEO to me is the dream. That's the one that you want to nail because people are searching for, and that's where people are searching on Google for your product or your service, and you come up top. But SEO takes a wee bit of work.
Yeah, but it's around forever.
Yeah, but it, you know, and you can start one of the things if you've already got a website there. that will help with your SEO is to start, posting blogs and things like that. That's something that you could do yourself.
Yeah.
And if I don't know how some people's websites are set up, but if you have a website that you have access to, in the back end, there are things that you can do it'll rank your SEO for you.
Yeah.
It'll tell you if you're doing a good job or a bad job, and you can go in and fix it. So there are things, to me, I would jump into SEO and try and get that going. But it does take a wee bit more just educating yourself. And
actually upskilling yourself, that's where to start, yeah.
Yeah.
Upskill. And you can do that on the Mindset and Marketing, starting entry point for free. AI Masterclass, Digital Marketing Revolution, the movie, and Evolution of Success. And then if you want to jump into any of our paid courses, we have the entry point for that is $49. That is for the 1,000 prompt ebook. And then moving up to 497 is like the Life's a Beach package with your sales funnels and everything built in there. So the entry point to start a business now, an online business, is really, really low. Should you want to do it yourself, get stuck in and really put the time and effort into it. Not to take away that $500 isn't low. I know it's a lot of money, just to say that as well. But that's where it is. It's a lot lower than what I end up spending.
It's getting, yeah.
I had spent so much money on websites that I was like, oh my God, I had to open my own agency. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to.
It's worked out for you.
It's worked out. It has, but definitely I've put the work in.
Yeah.
But so that is us for another week.
Yeah.
Anything else before we sign off?
No, I just want to wrap that one up because there was a lot going on there.
Yeah.
So basically, when you build a website, they don't come automatically. You have to market it to get them to come. There's loads of free things out there that you can do to get people to your website. And then there's also paid elements that can bring new audiences and traffic to your website. Either way, like Matthew said, your website is your best member of staff. So let's get it talking like that as a starting point.
Treat it like that.
Treat it like that.
Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you on the next one.
Thank you. Bye.